What's good? Shout out to all of the subscribers out there. It's RFG, and I'm here to break this information down, which is guaranteed to put a hole in the goddamn matrix, man. I'm here to put a hole in the matrix with this information because I am here today to present to you information, documented information that's going to prove that most astrologers, right, were wrong in their depiction of the zodiac sign Virgo. I'm here today to prove that most of the astrologers' depictions, and I'm talking about across the whole world, it has been widely accepted. The mainstream perception and description of Virgo has been accepted by the masses basically for decades. All right, without the people knowing the real truth of what Virgo really is and where Virgo really comes from and what Virgo is really ruled by. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, you're not going to be able to get this information anywhere else in the world. Me personally, I consider myself the best at what I do in the world. All right. And the information I present in this video is going to back that statement up. Okay. Because like I said, everybody going around stating that the zodiac sign Virgo is ruled by Mercury, anybody stating that the zodiac sign Virgo is ruled by Mercury has not done the proper research. They have not done the proper research on the zodiac sign Virgo. All right. I'm going to prove without a shadow of a doubt that the zodiac sign Virgo is not ruled by Mercury. All right. I'm going to break this down through etymological roots. All right. That means etymology. I'm going to prove it through etymology that Virgo has nothing to do with Mercury. All right. We got to get that clear. Virgo has nothing to do with Mercury. So when we look at Mercury here, Mercury in astrology, all right, we need to look at what Mercury not only represents in astrology, we need to look at the etymological roots of the word Mercury. So in astrology, Mercury rules the language portion of the brain. Mercury rules the language portion of the brain. Mercury also rules the lungs, the two lungs and the two arms. Mercury rules the lungs and the two arms and the part of the brain that controls speech. All right. And I'm here to tell you that Virgo has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. All right. So here we go. Mercury's etymological roots. All right. What do we have here? The Roman god Mercury. That's right. All of these names that you see that the astrological signs have, all of the names that the astrological signs have, those names have origins that go back to Roman, Greek, and Egyptian gods. All of the names of the 12 signs of the zodiac and all of the planets, all of those names go back to Greek, Roman, and Egyptian origins. Okay? So we got to get that clear. So when we look at the Greek Roman origins of the word Mercury, they're talking about a Roman god named Mercury. Who was the Roman god Mercury? Oh, he was the messenger god that took the message from the gods and relayed that information back to humanity. Mercury was the middleman for the gods, who got the information from the gods in the fourth dimensional realm. All right, relayed that information back to the humans, the mortals in the human world. That was Mercury. Now I'm here to tell you that when I look at the etymological roots of the word Virgo, it has nothing to do with Mercury. It has nothing to do with the etymology and the history of the word Mercury. And Virgo has nothing to do with the god Mercury. All right. So, like I said, when you look at Mercury, the zodiac sign that is actually ruled by Mercury is Gemini. It's Gemini. All right. All right. All right. All right. Now we're going to break this down. We're going to break this down. We're going to break this down step by step. You see, Mercury, which is the messenger god, deals with language and communication. This god deals with language and communication. Now, Gemini, you can research this yourself. Gemini is ruled by the language portion of the brain. All right, which is the primary motor cortex and the primary somatosensory cortex. These two towers, look, folks, this area of the brain, if you were to cut this out, these two areas of the brain, they would be like two elongated plates. They would be like two tall plates, but they would be shaped like half of a plate. All right, these two pieces of the brain. All right, but when you look at this from the side, it looks like two towers. All right, and these are the language portions of the brain. We can scroll down and see more images of what I'm talking about right here. All right, the primary motor cortex and the primary sensory area. All right, it's split up between two pieces. All right, the language portion of the brain. Now, when you look at the pieces of the body that Gemini rules, okay, what is Gemini? We have to go into what Gemini is. Gemini represents what? There you go. The twins. The twins. When you look at the sign of Gemini, okay, look at the sign of Gemini. We have the two towers. The two towers. All right, the twins. The twins. All right, symbolizing the two lungs, the twin lungs that Gemini rules, the twin arms that Gemini rules, and the pieces of the brain, okay? The pieces of the brain that deal with language, right? Look like two towers, right? Look like two towers. Look at that. Look at that. See what I'm saying? Dealing with language, all right? And dealing with dual nature. You see? All right. Now, when we go into Virgo, see, Virgo is also dual natured, but not for the same reason that Gemini is dual natured. All right. And I'm here to tell you that, like I said, once again, I'm going to prove through every single method, every single piece of information that I hit you with, is going to be more proof that Virgo is not ruled by Mercury. All right. Once again, when we deal with the etymology of the word Virgo, it has nothing to do with the etymology of Mercury. All right, or the Roman god Mercury. Virgo has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. Okay. All right. So Gemini is the real ruler of Mercury. All right. Now let's go into the etymology of Virgo. All right, Virgo. The etymology, the history of the word. We're talking about the history of the word now, the origins of the word. Do we see anything that deals with the god Mercury here? Do we see anything that deals with the god Mercury, or language or communication? No, we do not. But I tell you what we do see. We do see the Virgin. We do see the Virgin, Virgo, the Virgin. So in order to find we found the etymological history of the word. Now we're going to go back into Roman and to the Greek cultures, and we're going to see which one of their gods was depicted as a virgin. Because like I said, all of the zodiac words, the words that deal with the zodiac and the planets, they all go back to Roman and Greek and even Egyptian origin. All right. So we have to start looking at gods that were depicted as a virgin at some period in time. So when we do the research, when we do the in-depth research, right, and we look up virgin goddesses, right, because that's what the fuck Virgo is. All right, Virgo, it's obviously a virgin woman. It's obviously a virgin woman. So when we do the research, we're going to be looking for Roman, Greek, and Egyptian gods that were depicted as virgins at some point. You see what I'm saying? So when we go into the Greeks and the Romans, all right, their goddess was called Vesta. Their virgin goddess was called Vesta. Their virgin goddess was called Vesta. All right. That's right. Virgo, the zodiac sign Virgo, all right, comes from the word Vesta, the old Roman and Greek word Vesta. All right. So when we look into the origin of the astrological object that rules Vesta, it is actually an asteroid. Vesta used to be a planet until Tiamat hit Maldek. When Tiamat hit Maldek, Vesta was reduced to a small asteroid. All right. So the zodiac sign Virgo is actually ruled by the Roman goddess Vesta, and the astrological object that rules Vesta, right, which is this asteroid, which is known as Vesta. You see what I'm saying? It used to be a planet. When Tiamat hit Maldek, that created the asteroid belt in the solar system. All right. Which destroyed, it actually destroyed the planet Vesta. Vesta used to be a planet, right? And it was destroyed after Tiamat hit Maldek. Now Vesta is only an asteroid, okay? And that's what rules the zodiac sign Virgo on the astronomical level. Now, all right, it was Vesta. I believe it was Vesta in Rome. They called her Vesta in Rome. But in Greece, they called her Hestia. In Greece, they called her Hestia. Now, we're going to go into the origins of who this deity Vesta really is. Okay? Right here. Right here. Now, Vesta, okay, we're going to, all right, right here, the virgin goddess of hearth, home, family, right, Roman religion. She's rarely depicted in human form, often represented by the fire in her temple. All right. All right. She was the leader. Vesta was the leader of a group of women known as the Vestal Virgins. All right. And what I'm going to tell you right now is Vesta was a goddess that was depicted as a virgin. Vesta was a goddess that was only depicted as a virgin. Right? She was depicted as a virgin. Okay? The virginity was thought essential to Rome's survival. If found guilty of inchastity, they were punished by burial alive. So these were the so-called the criminals in their society. That's how they would be punished. That's interesting. Okay, here we go. Okay, the Vestal Virgins guarded sacred objects. All right. Now we're dealing with idol worship. Guarded sacred objects, prepared flour and sacred salt for official sacrifices. All right. So right here, we have a torch. All right. We have a torch, which is used for sacrifices to the gods. All right. Because Vesta was one of the goddesses that served the gods, and I'm going to tell you what gods that Vesta was serving. All right. And remember, she was a deity that was depicted as a virgin by a particular culture. Okay, now we're going to show you who her father was. Vesta's father was Saturn. Right here. Vesta was the daughter of Saturn. Vesta was the daughter of Saturn. All right. Now we know Saturn is basically the demiurge. We know Saturn is Kronos, which the Hebrews and the Habiru, right? They called it El. They called it El, E-L, Elohim, Saturn, the demiurge. Vesta is the daughter. Vesta is the daughter of the demiurge. All right. Pay very close attention to all the information I'm giving you. All right. And like I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying, stir up any kind of conflict. This is the raw truth, documented, all right, through archaeological, anthropological evidence. Now, why do I say that Vesta was only depicted as a virgin? If we go back into pre-Hellenistic, if we go into pre-Hellenistic times, Vesta was known as a goddamn harlot. In pre-Hellenistic times, Vesta was known as the holy harlot. All right. All right. Why does Vesta do what she does? All right. Vesta is focused on dedication. She is the holder of the hearth and the sacred flame. What is the hearth and the sacred flame symbolically? To keep a house warm in the time before electricity. All right. Someone who was responsible for making sure of the fire, or to keep the fire going, keep that one coal in the stove or fireplace, and to not let it go out. Similarly, a flame was kept at the center of the town, all right, in Rome, and kept alive as a symbol of community. That's right, because Virgo rules the sixth house, which deals with community. Keeping this focus and dedication kept things together, much like the fire at the center of the earth. For gravity comes from the center of the earth. It is what hugs the earth. It's what hugs the earth's inhabitants to it tightly. Without it, we would float around with no direction to anchor. This heartbeat of the earth is constant, keeps it all together, is the role of Vesta. Now, in Greeks, right? See, this is what the Romans depicted Vesta. Now we're going to go into Greek times. This is how the Greeks depicted Vesta. All right. All right. And we're talking about pre-Hellenistic. We're talking about the pre-Hellenistic times. All right. So this person called it ancient times. In ancient times, in ancient pre-Hellenistic times, Vesta was what? The sacred prostitute. The sacred prostitute. Now that's quite different than a virgin, isn't it? That's the opposite of a fucking virgin now, isn't it? That's interesting. That's interesting. And we're gonna back this up, right? Because there are archaeologists out there and people who are into anthropology, people who go to these old sites and they look at the hieroglyphics, they look at the documented records, and they're able to pull up what these cultures in pre-Hellenistic times were depicting Vesta as. All right. Now, this book right here is called Vesta Reconsidered. Why? And if what I'm saying is bullshit, why do we have books that are titled this, Vesta Reconsidered? So now they're saying they have to reconsider what Vesta represents. All right. Is Vesta the Vestal Virgin, or is it the sacred prostitute? Is she the Vestal Virgin, or is she the sacred prostitute? Come on now. Come on now. You see what I'm saying? So that is the dual nature of Virgo. Is the Virgo going to exude the energy of the sacred prostitute or the virgin? All right. Now, another thing that the zodiac sign Virgo is known for representing is the idea of perfection and the image of perfection. The idea of perfection and the image of perfection. Now, I'm going to tell you that that's an illusion. All right? It's complete delusionalism. Because if you look up the definition of perfection, the definition of perfection is interchangeable through every brain that it goes through. So if we were to ask 3,000 people each, what is their definition of perfection in this particular area of life, we're going to get different answers for every person. So that means the word perfection, it has no solid root. It has no solid foundation. So every person we ask, what's your definition of perfection? What's your definition of perfection? What is perfection? What is perfection? We're going to get different answers for almost every person. So by me saying that, that means that the sign Virgo is known for chasing in illusions. The sign Virgo, it has to be known for chasing an illusion, because perfection differs through each brain that it goes through. Everybody has their own definition of perfection. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times what you'll see Virgos trying to, exude the full frequency of the sixth house. And the sixth house deals with service to others. So when they exude the service to others, quote unquote, that is them allowing popular opinion to dictate what life path they choose. A lot of times when we look at, Virgo sons, they'll end up taking up a life path only because that is what their family pushed them in to do. That is what their parents pushed them to do. All right? Because they are naturally ruled by the sixth house. The sixth house deals with service to others. Service to others. And most of the time, we see the Virgo sons taking up life paths to serve popular opinion, all right, and to serve the mainstream status quos of the matrix. All right. And this, like I said, this is backed up through all kinds of evidence and proof, because what is Vesta? Vesta is the daughter of the demiurge. Vesta is the daughter of the demiurge. I say, man, everything I say, man, is backed up, man, through etymology. Everything I say is backed up through etymology, through archaeology. All right, through also through metaphysical information. All right, what each of these zodiac signs, what each part of the body they're ruled by, their etymological roots. Okay, like I said, Gemini is the real ruler of Mercury. Virgo is ruled by the virgin goddess, or the goddess who is depicted as a virgin, which was Vesta. Okay? Alrighty. And like I said, them being ruled by the sixth house, a lot of times they get caught up in trying to live out what society and their family wants for them, and not really what they want for themselves. You see what I'm saying? And that a lot of times that's a huge dilemma for the psyche of Virgo sons. All right. Now, like I said, when you go back in pre-Hellenistic times, which this person called ancient times. All right. When Greece first started out, when Greece was first erected as a real structured society, they depicted Vesta as a sacred holy prostitute. Okay. And this is backed up. You can go read the book that was made by Stephen Forrest, written by Stephen Forrest, Vestal Virgin or Sacred Prostitute. You know what I'm saying? So this is known about. This is documented. This is documented and known about. Also, Virgo is ruled by the intestines. Virgo is ruled by the intestines, right? Because it's ruled by the 6th house, which deals with the service, right, to your family and your community. And also it rules Vesta's sacrifices to the gods. All right. It rules Vesta's sacrifices to the gods. Now they would get these animals. They would get these animals and they would kill them and throw the animals in the fire. And then they would eat the animals after the animals were cooked. Right. So Vesta, known as the Roman and the Greek goddess of ritual sacrifices to the gods. And also, you know, these animals that would be eaten during these ceremonies where homage was paid to the gods. You see, 6th house deals with nutrition that goes into the body as well. All right. And that's, you know, that's ruled by the intestines. All right. Because the intestines take nutrients out of the food you eat, gives that nutrients to the body, and it expels, and the intestines expel the waste from the body. All right. More dual nature. All right. Giving, you know, dealing with nutrition in the body and dealing with waste, you know, getting rid of the waste in the body. Also the duality of, are we dealing with the holy prostitute, or are we dealing with a virgin? See what I'm saying? Duality. That's why, you know, many people say that Virgos are a dual natured sign. And then another thing that proves that Virgo does not rule Mercury, Virgo is negative feminine. All right. It's when we talk about the polarity of Virgo, it's negative, a negative polarity, a feminine polarity. When we look at Gemini, okay, Gemini is masculine positive, and also Gemini is air, and then Virgo is earth. All right. So if we were to go down and look at the soil on the earth, and then pay attention to the air that we breathe, those are damn near opposite elements. Those are damn near opposite elements when we're talking about earth and air. All right. And then Virgo is negatively charged and a feminine charge. And then, you know, Gemini is the air. All right. Masculine, positive charge. Okay. And then Gemini rules the 3rd house. Virgo rules the 6th house. Completely different houses, because they're ruled by completely different gods. All right. Gemini, we're dealing with the twins. We're dealing with Mercury. And then we're dealing with the twin gods. All right. And not only Rome and Greece, we're dealing with the twin gods in Kemet. All right. The messenger. See, Gemini is the messenger god. All right. Mercury. You see, it has nothing to do with Virgo. Nothing. They have nothing to do with each other. The only similarity that they have is that they are mutuable. Their mode is mutuable, and that's it. You see what I'm saying? And there's plenty of signs that have the same mode, but they're all ruled by different planets. And it's no different for Gemini and Virgo. They're ruled by different planets, but most of these astrologers are too damn lazy to actually do the in-depth research. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And Virgo being a mutable earth sign. See, what does mutable mean? Mutable means ever changing. Mutable means ever changing, constantly changing. Mutable means constantly changing. All right? Earth. So if we go into nature, and we try to find things that are signs of mutable earth, if we try to find a representation of mutable earth, all right, the closest thing we can find that represents a ever-changing earth element, all right, we got to go to mud. We got to go to the element of mud, okay, which is water mixed with earth. All right. And then we got to go to sand. We have to go to sand. All right. Which is moldable. It's moldable. You see what I'm saying? Moldable earth. All right. And also earthquakes. Unstable earth. Mud, sand, all right, and earthquakes. That is what is represented. That's what's represented by mutable earth. See, and this is how you know most astrologers don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they try to depict Virgo as this so-called completely stable, practical, down to earth, logical, you see what I'm saying, methodical type person or type personality. And that's not the truth. That is not the truth. Any sign that is mutable is unstable, is constantly changing and unstable. So like I said, when we look at mutable earth, we got mud, we got the sand, and we got the earthquakes. See what I'm saying? That is not stable. And most astrologers, when they give their description of Virgo, they talk about a personality that is stable. And that is the furthest thing from the truth when you talk about the true nature of the Virgo sign. Okay? These mainstream astrologers don't know what the hell they are talking about. All they're doing is just regurgitating what other people say. Okay? Once again, they're not going to etymology and the actual Greek and Roman origins of this particular sign. You see what I'm saying? And even when we go into Kemet, when we go into Egypt, okay, so I basically proved right here that Virgo is the daughter of the demiurge. All right. Now, let's see here. Vesta. Okay. Yeah. Virgo is the daughter of Saturn. Vesta is the daughter of Saturn. Now, when we go and look up Saturn's profile, Saturn in Kemet was the god Set. Saturn in Kemet was the god Set. All right. Now, Set had a daughter. I believe her name was Serket. Yeah. Saturn had a daughter named Vesta. All right. And with the Roman and the Greeks, their theology. But when you go into Kemet, the Kemetic equal of Saturn is Set. Set had a daughter. I think her name was like Serket. She had a scorpion. It's the Egyptian god, the Egyptian goddess with a scorpion on her head. And if you look into Serket, or that daughter of Set, she ruled over the canopic jar of the intestines. She ruled over the canopic jar of the intestines. So I believe that Set's daughter, the Kemetic Set's daughter, has to be the equivalent to Vesta. All right, because she ruled over that canopic jar of the intestines, and she also dealt with healing and getting rid of toxins out of the body, getting rid of venom and getting rid of toxins out of the body, and also the frequency of the intestines. All right. All right. The daughter of Set and the daughter of Saturn. That is the true identity of Virgo. Okay. That is the true identity of Virgo. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Nobody in the world is able to put these pieces together. You know, like the person speaking right now, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so important, man, to, not only spread this information to people that you know what I'm saying? There's not too many people doing this kind of research. Everybody else is just regurgitating what they heard somebody else say. Nobody is digging deep and actually breaking this shit down through etymology, through metaphysics. See what I'm saying? We're breaking this shit down through etymology. We're breaking this shit down through metaphysics. We're breaking this shit down through archaeological evidence to come to these conclusions. See what I'm saying? So with that being said, all right, Virgo is ruled by the asteroid Vesta, and Gemini is the real ruler of Mercury. Okay? All right? Next time a person says that Virgo is ruled by Mercury, ask that person, if we trace back the history of the word Mercury, is that going to connect with Virgo? If we trace back the history of the word Mercury, is that going to connect back to Virgo? And I guarantee you they're not going to have an answer for it, because the answer is no. There's no connection. There's no connection with the history of the word Mercury, all right, connecting to Virgo. And when we look at the god Mercury, where the name Mercury came from, when we look at the god Mercury, has nothing to do with Virgo. Absolutely nothing. All right? So just be aware of that. I had to make that very clear. Also, these so-called astrologers, they got Libra. They also got Libra wrong. Right? They also got Libra wrong. That's right, folks. Libra is not really ruled by Venus. All right. So that's going to be the next video that I put out on this channel, Amo Apoxia. The true hidden origins of the Libra zodiac sign. Be on the lookout for that. That's all I had to say on this topic. I hope I was able to answer everyone's questions regarding this topic. Look out for the next video. All right, the hidden origins of the Libra zodiac sign. I appreciate everyone who supports RFG and Atlantean movement. Please like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe out there. All right. Peace and love is the chosen one. I'm out.